sustained by the love of God. That's the one. That is the one. That I am loved so much in ways that I can think of, but in even more ways, infinite ways that I have not yet thought of, that I've not yet considered. You know, the ways that I don't usually consider are the ways that are upsetting, the ways that ask me to shift and change my way of thinking, that ask me to shift and change my way of dealing with my body, the ways that ask me to shift and change my way of thinking about some other people, the ways that ask me to shift and change my past, the way I think of my past, that I could create a magnificent past and none of the facts have to change. How about that? That because some of us, you know, have an iffy past, and you know there were some rough days in the past, and to change those rough days into good days, and the facts don't change. That's what we come here to do, so that I don't have to walk around anymore thinking something bad happened to me. I no longer have to take that as a fact, that something bad happened to me, or something bad happened to someone else. No, life on life's terms happened, and I was there. God, show me the way. Spirit, show me the way. Peace, show me the way. Joy, show me the way. Wisdom, show me the way. Today's talk is called An Invitation to Harmony. An Invitation to Harmony. I'm going to read you something from Myrtle Fillmore. I'll let God help you. And it's about peace. And her affirmation is, I am divinely directed in ways of peace and pleasantness. We don't use that word a lot, do we? Pleasantness. I'm going to have a pleasant day. She says, as we leave old circumstances, beliefs, habits, and desires behind, and seek to understand and to enter into and get the blessings out of the larger life which is ever opening to us, we are filled with a sense of peace, freedom, and assurance that all is well. As we realize that we are God's children, that we have power and authority to think and to speak the good and true, and to have it manifest in harmonious relations and pleasant surroundings, we no longer invite or submit to inharmony, misunderstandings, or limitations. We place ourselves in God's keeping and think truth, and it directs us in ways of peace and pleasantness. She says here, you are entirely purified and free and ready to enter into the kingdom of peace, order, love, and beauty where the fiery furnaces are not necessary. When there is nothing in your subconsciousness which falls short of the truth, the Christ standard, you will not feel uncomfortable or find yourself meeting problems that seem without solution. Purgatory is but a condition of the soul. It is that which cleanses one of undesirable beliefs and habits. That which is termed purgatory is for your good and takes away something which has been hindering your process. Your progress. You can bring these undesirable states to an end right now. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? That's not just your neighbor, that's you. You can bring these undesirable states to an end right now. First of all, stop believing in them and the necessity for them. Yeah, that's the thing. Well, I guess it was supposed to happen. Well, no, it played out exactly perfectly, but it's not there's a divine plan for misery. Well, I needed to have this misery in order to, that's not the case. Second, make up your mind that you are not going to stand for them, not a moment longer. Third, watch your thoughts and attitudes and acts to see that you do not invite undesirable states. Now, I'll tell you something I did about a little over a year ago. I was on my way home on a Monday night after a class, and I was imagining a disagreement that might come up at home when I got there. There was going to be somebody else at home. I wasn't going to go home by myself and have that happen. No, I was imagining, and suddenly I was furious, and I hit the steering wheel, and I said, "Put the crazy down!" And I was talking to us all, but in particular me. Put the crazy down. All that inharmony, all that thing. And I got home and I had no need for crazy. And when I'm talking about crazy, what I'm talking about is creating disagreements where there wasn't one in the first place. Whether it's him or whether it's me, whether it's you, whether it's me. It takes two people to play in it for it to have life. One person is just over here. But if one of them won't play, the fire has got to go out. And so I decided I'm going to put the crazy down. And something shifted in our home, and so it must have been me. Some new attitudes will be necessary. Some old customs and beliefs will have to be changed and given up. Some old customs and beliefs. Those things in your family tradition, you don't have to play those out anymore. Christmas morning can be a joy, if it isn't currently. If it hasn't been for the past 25, 30 years. This year can be a joy. A new side of you will have to be shown. I like this, a new disregard for consequences. In the awareness that God is working in all ways to bring about a better state of affairs and to establish in you His order, wisdom, and joy will need to be expressed. The study and practice of truth will help you to discriminate between the false and the true, to combine rightly the ideas of the Christ mind within you, that you may express and bring forth whatsoever you will. The treatment, then, is to turn one's attention to God. The indwelling law with the happy assurance that all old, disappointing things are dropping away, and the healing, peace-giving, joy-filling, prospering ideas of God's love, life, and substance are filling the mind and heart, quickening new energies in the body. Do not brood on things which stir up strife. If it seems that you are in hell, just know that there is a stairway leading from hell to heaven. When there is nothing in you to require the purifying fires, you will rise on the very spiritual atmosphere you have created into a beautiful new realm of life. I thought about Joseph at the end of Genesis in the Bible. Who all here is familiar with the story of Joseph there in Genesis? You people not read your Bible. Joseph, son of Jacob. Joseph in the coat of many colors.
Oh.
There. Oh! Oh, you good true students, you Bible scholars. Joseph. Joseph, it would seem, had many reasons to be peeved. Many reasons to be a victim. First of all, he's like the number one in the household. His father loves him best of all. All 12 brothers, Joseph's the one. And his brothers hate it. His older brothers hate it that he is the light in the house. They hate it that he is the light. So what do? They take him out. And they beat the crap out of him. And they take his beautiful coat, new coat, and they throw him in a well to die. And then, I believe it was Reuben, the brother, said, no, let's not kill him. I know, let's sell him. Let's sell him into slavery. And so they do. And he is taken away into Egypt. Now, Egypt metaphysically means bondage. And he's sold into slavery. And then he does so well there that he is elevated and elevated. Suddenly he's running the house. And then what happens? He's so good at it, and he's good looking. He's so good that the master's wife has one more chore she would like him to do. And he says, I can't do that. That would be wrong to do that. The master's been so good to me. So what she does is she grabs his tunic. And she then tells her husband, look what he did. He came here to make a fool of me and left his tunic behind. Well, he's thrown into prison for several years. Again, you think, holy smokes. Holy smokes. And then through that, his psychic abilities really manifest in prison. Next thing you know, he's king of the land. He is so elevated in stature. First, he's running the prison. And then he becomes king, where his brothers come, be after a famine that he had seen. And his brothers come, they're hungry. They need food, and so they're coming to the king of the land to get food. They don't recognize their brother up there. And first thing he does is he puts them in jail for 3 days. Teaches them a little lesson, and then he tells them to go home and get the youngest son, the new favorite of the father, Jacob. Jacob, who's a piece of work. And then he, there was one thing that really peeved the brothers early on, Jacob's psychic ability. He did tell them that one day they would be bowing down to him. And they stirred up some stuff in them. And later on, what happens? They come and they bow down to him, begging for food. Begging for food. And finally, he lets them know he's their brother, Joseph. And they say, what are you going to do to us? And he says, nothing. I'm going to love you. He said, what you meant for evil, God meant for good. So much good has come out of what you... See, if we maintain the thought of God, the thought of good, through all of life on life's terms, we will always know where we stand at this moment. Unless you have psychic ability, you may not be able to see the future. You may not see the good that is going to come from it. Joseph did not really see that. He didn't see egoically what was going to happen in the future. But he maintained his I amness through it all, through all of the trials. He maintained his knowing of his connection. See, the strife on earth wasn't as important as the God connection. And so, when I'm having a rough day, when things aren't going the way I would like them to in this earth, and yet, let me tell you why I usually don't like it, is because I'm going to have to feel uncomfortable. And I resent it. I resent it when others push me to where, or not just others, things, objects, circumstances, push me to where I have to be uncomfortable. But I can move through that discomfort so fast now with the thought of God, with the thought of knowing. Just the thought of not knowing that, oh, this is going to turn out for the best. Well, I guess this is the way. I don't make a lot of lemonade. I seek to know that this is going on right now, and it's playing out perfectly according to my thinking. What's up? According to my thinking, according to what's going on, has been going on in my life, it always plays out. Because remember, we live in the law of cause and effect. Thought is always cause, everything else is effect. Where we can't afford to get into is thinking that this bad thing happens. That means I did something bad to bring this about. I did something bad, so I'm sick. I did something bad, so I'm in prison. I did something bad. No. If sickness comes up, you must look for the light in the sickness. If you are in prison, be it behind bars or inside your body, you must look for the light in the prison cell. You must look, the light is always here. Of Course in Miracles, I think of this, it says, where man has placed the problem, God has placed the solution. And so you see Joseph, in all of his tribulations, he could only have been punished if he said he was being punished. Otherwise, he's having life on life's terms for him. He is having... So, where is the light? Well, light was in the prison. Light was in working with the other prison guards. Light was in working with the other prisoners. Light was in working with the current king, the current master. Light was always in. Things that seem to be not fair happen all the time. They happen all the time. People get away with, doing terrible things in traffic, we'll say. And I get and somebody else gets a traffic ticket. I didn't get one, but not lately. But I haven't had one in a very long time. But why is it some people can park illegally in front of the building, no ticket, and other people park in front of the building and they get tickets? I've gotten 2 out there a year ago, parked illegally, parked in front of either front or behind. There are 3 parking places out there. If I create a 4th one, I stand the chance of getting a ticket. Because why? There's a sign that says no parking anytime. Now I see that sign. And so I know if I'm going there, I could get a ticket even though I saw 4 cars there yesterday that didn't get a ticket. Even though I may have parked there every day last week, didn't get a ticket. Today I could get one because there's a sign that says. The law of cause and effect says if I want to be grounded in principle, I must live in principle. And that means my thoughts. And if I am telling myself there is bad, there is wrong, there is evil, then I'm going to experience bad, wrong, and evil. Yeah, the other day, David, oh man, I felt badly for him. He's been writing out all this music. And he has a music program on his computer. And he can sit and write for 2 and 3 hours, and suddenly it crashes, and all that work is gone.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. It's sad, isn't it? And the other day, it happened, and I just held him. And I said, oh, man. Man, it happened again yesterday morning. It's yesterday or this morning? Oh, last night. And it's like, oh. Now, there is obviously not a force at work punishing him.
Oh, yes, there is.
And it's called David. It's called David's thinking. Who wants to invest 2 and 3 hours to have your work just washed away in order to think higher thoughts? Because that's what you can do with that. You can take that as an opportunity to think higher thoughts. That's why anybody that comes to me for counseling, I always say, 5 minutes, first thing in the day, to meditate, to ground, to affirm your oneness with God. If you want harmony, it won't be through preventing life from happening. It will be from knowing what to do with life when it happens. So, I would ask who already meditates at least 5 minutes in the morning? Who would be willing to start today? Who hasn't been doing it? 5 minutes, and I'll give you my easy way. I sit down and I say, the Christ in me is awake now. And then I take on a thought on the in-breath. I don't say it out loud. I just take on a thought. God is. And on the out-breath, through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. On the out-breath, I'd have a thought, I am. There's that, or there's counting to 4. 1 on the in-breath, 2 on the out, 3 on the in, 4 on the out. I never go more than 4 because I don't need to lose track counting. Because I'll start thinking about counting instead of. Now, here's the thing, and this is the art of meditation if anybody doesn't already know it. You're going to think. It isn't about stopping thinking. You're gonna. God is. I am. I wonder if they have chicken the way I like it for dinner. I want to. Oh, and so gently then bring yourself, God is, I am. Gently back to the God is, I am. God is, I am. I can't believe they did that to me in 3rd grade. Oh, I just hate that person. I wonder if they're on Facebook. I'm gonna. Oh, God is. God is. I am. And it's that simple. And so I saw several hands go up today who said, yes, if I'm not already doing it, I'm going to start. You're not doing it for me. This is your invitation to harmony. and you have accepted your invitation. So I say, congratulations. Let's have a party.